Hello, everyone. American Sports 365. Here with me once again is my colleague Alex. So, you've played some more games. Fortunately, haven't won any of them. At least any of the last three. Just lost the Bucks 131 to 124, and then had an even worse loss, blowing a huge lead against the Knicks and losing that game 100 to 98. So the Heat are 10-8 now and lost three in a row, and this team is playing like trash. So, what are your thoughts on, these recent losses and the most recent one?
Yeah, I mean, the team has been playing poorly lately. Lost to the Bucks is a little bit more understandable, but losing a huge lead and then losing the game against the Knicks is unacceptable. So pretty upsetting.
Yeah, the loss to the Bucks is understandable given the quality that they have on their team, and also the fact that Jimmy missed that game was also a big factor. But yeah, the loss against the Knicks, I think, was really unacceptable. He had a 16-point lead going into the fourth quarter of that game, and of course should have won. So definitely extremely frustrating. So, in terms of more specifics, Heat's defense was terrible against the Bucks. Obviously, allowing 131 points on 53% shooting. Giannis had 33 points on 11 of 16 shooting, and Lillard had 32 points on 9 of 18 shooting. And he also let the Bucks score 31 points in the first quarter, so they were immediately on the back foot. So really unacceptable from from a defensive standpoint. So, what are your thoughts on the Heat's defense against the Bucks?
Yeah, I agree. It was totally unacceptable. I think that's where we missed Jimmy the most on the defensive end of the floor, of course, on the offensive end of the floor too. But because he is such a great defender and he is such a great leader on defense, he's absolutely essential to our defense as a whole. And we missed him a lot against the Bucks.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, Jimmy is a fantastic defender and really organizes the team's defense. Also very good on offense, too, of course, even though he's started off a little bit slowly in that area so far this season. His absence was significant, and the Heat's defense suffered greatly as a result, and it's one of the major factors as to why the Heat didn't win. Now, another factor that has been contributing part of pretty much every single one of the Heat's losses in this entire season so far was the Heat's fourth quarter performance. It was terrible again, of course. So the Heat scored 38-27 in the fourth quarter, and ended up losing the game against the Bucks by 7 points. So, that's really where the game was lost. It's really frustrating to see the Heat continue to play terribly in fourth quarters in almost every single game they played. So, it really needs to get sorted out. So, your thoughts on the Heat's fourth quarter performance in this game?
Yeah, it was bad. And this has been an ongoing problem for multiple seasons now. And there needs to stop if we're going to, have a really good regular season record and make a deep run in the playoffs and stuff.
Yeah, oftentimes the third quarter has been the Heat's Achilles heel, but this season, for some reason, it's been the fourth quarter. Like I said, even in some games that the Heat have actually won, they played poorly in the fourth quarter and ended up, winning the game by fewer points than they really should because they played so badly in the fourth quarter. And Heat's first win of the season against the Pistons was similar to that, and they should have easily won that game, only ended up winning by 1 point because they played like trash in the fourth quarter. It's definitely a major issue. Of course, I think some players coming back from injury with Butler and Harrell would definitely help with that. He'd have got to figure out a way to sort that out. Otherwise, they're not going to win nearly as many games as they really should. Now, in terms of the offense, it was quite good. Unfortunately, wasn't good enough to compensate for the terrible defense. Bam was the standout performer once again. 31 points, 10 rebounds. Richardson had 20 points. Larry had 21 points. And Duncan Robinson had 13 points. So I think pretty much all the starters played well offensively, but like I said, wasn't enough because the Heat's defense was so bad in this game. So, what are your thoughts on the Heat's offense this game and specifically the starters?
Yeah, I think you're right. The offense was pretty good, especially the starters, but they were let down by the terrible defense.
Yeah, it's really frustrating to see that, especially because he definitely struggled offensively in some games, but like I said, did well on offense in this game. Unfortunately, wasn't enough because defense was so bad. But good to see most of the starters play well. Bam especially has had a really strong season. Unfortunately, the Heat don't have a better record because of some other issues they had. But yeah, I think overall the starters played well. Now, in terms of the bench unit, not really that good. Only contributed 33 points in this game, which obviously wasn't really enough. Yeah, I mean the Heat's benches had a lot of insufficient performances this season, to be quite honest. So, what are your thoughts on the Heat's bench in this game?
Yeah, it's like I say in every video, our bench isn't good enough. We need to make a trade to get some more bench depth.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how that's not obvious to the Heat's front office at this point. It's not exactly that early in the season at this point. I mean, the Heat have played almost 20 games already, so that's almost, a quarter of the season. So it's not really that early in the season anymore. And it continues to be a problem. So, yeah, I mean, I hope that he actually take action on that. Otherwise, they're going to keep losing games that they should actually win. Now, in terms of Heat's free throw shooting, was bad in this game too. He only made 66.7% of the free throws, even though he'd overall have been a good free throw shooting team, but struggled from the line in this game, and definitely ended up being significant because obviously 7 points is pretty narrow margin of victory. So yeah, it was yet another negative. So, what are your thoughts on the Heat's free throw shooting in this game?
Yeah, it was disappointing and surprising how bad it was.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating as well. Like I said, the Heat overall have been quite a good free throw shooting team, but struggled from the line in this game, and a game where they really needed to do the opposite. So, yeah, it's definitely frustrating. I think this isn't quite as much of a major long-term concern because, as I said, the Heat had overall been good from the free throw line, but definitely struggled in that area in this game, and that was definitely something that contributed to the loss. So, yeah, definitely frustrating. So there you have it. 3 straight losses for the Heat, put them at 10-8, including some really bad losses. And he'd have to play the Pacers next, who have the best offense in the NBA so far. So that's going to be another game. Hopefully, he'd actually manage to win this game, but you have to play a whole hell of a lot better to do that.
Yep.